one more minute of time without you in my life. I don't want to be without you in my day. I don't want to waste one more day. Can't take it away. Not one more day. Can't take it away. Can't take it away. Come with me now. Let's go on a ride of our lives. Come with me now. Let's go on a ride. I'm saying it now. Now the moment is now. Now the moment is now. Now the moment is now. Right now. Right now that is. That's all there is. Right now the moment is now. I'm saying it again. That's all there is. Right now is the time. Right now is the time. It doesn't matter the start. It's just about who you are. And it's here and it's real and it's now. You can open your heart. You can see the start of the beginning is now. Right now. Right now. Now is all there is. That's all there is. Now it is now. Right now. That's all there is. That's all there is. That's all there is. Now the moment is here.
Welcome to Campfire Stories. I call tonight's episode Somewhere Over the Rainbow. It's a story of divinity, synchronicities, and perseverance, following dreams to the rainbow's end. Meet Angel Vasquez. Angel visited Pixie's place in mid to late May 2021, 1 week prior to our filming of Camp OrangeRay. Angel and girlfriend Evangelina visited our Rainbow Garden trailer, and during their visit, unfortunately, we lost our founding mascot, Pixie. In triple-digit temperatures, the ladies helped me dig a giant hole to bury her, which in and of itself was not an easy task, as it was properly considered an excavation. Our property is boulder infested, so 6.5 hours later, we carried the white dragon down to her resting place. Without these amazing women, it would have been a very devastating moment for me. And I'm eternally grateful for their help. And it became very synchronistic as the Camp OrangeRay event then became a sending off, if you will, a funeral for our dear Pixie. But I came to know Angel and her story and found her to be an incredibly inspiring person. She's full of light. And when I discovered that her brother was the double rainbow guy from 2010, whose viral video went explosive, I realized that her stay at the Rainbow trailer was more than a chance meeting and more than just coincidence. And here's our story.
Whoa, that's a full rainbow all the way. Double rainbow. Oh my God. It's a double rainbow all the way. Whoa, that's so intense. Whoa, man. Wow. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh, oh my God! Woo! Oh my! Wow! Woo! Yeah! Oh my! Oh my! Oh my God! Look at that! It's starting to even look like a triple rainbow. Oh my God, it's full on double rainbow all the way across the sky. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh God. What does this mean? Oh. Oh my God. Oh. Oh God. It's so bright. Oh my God. It's so bright and vivid. Oh. 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 It's so beautiful.
Hey, everybody. Look at who's with me today. Angel Vasquez, the one and only. She's so gorgeous. Like,
we're forever connected. I helped you bury the body.
dude, yeah, I've already told everybody that. So they completely understand what that means. In fact, they've already seen a little picture of Pixie dancing around with her tiara on, and it's like, yeah,
Oh.
we buried the body. Like the most joyous thing about that was, thank God, in triple digit, the body didn't have to sit there for days decaying between my house and the Airbnb next door. And then
right.
and then the fact that that you guys were here, obviously, but the three of us being able, tiny women, mighty, but tiny, carrying that humongous stiff body,
Yeah.
and then the excavation, because I try to explain to people, oh no, it wasn't like three people dug a hole.
You couldn't have told me it was going to take all day and just to dig the hole.
And I can't believe you guys did that with me. And you don't understand. I was so traumatized, but I like yourself, I've been through so much trauma in my life that it's always the good face, the face. Okay, we're gonna, okay, no, it doesn't affect me, No, I'm moving on. It's okay. I'm going. You know what I mean? And then, years later you go, boom. Oh my God. That was a horrible day. It was a horrible.
I don't believe in, I don't believe in just chances. So it's sort of like we were meant to be there because, I don't know that anyone else would have helped you.
Hi, girlfriend, I know nobody else would have helped me. Not even anybody in the town would have helped me. Are you kidding me? Like, heck no. That's why your name Angel. So but no, the level of synchronicities that were in play was astonishing. And that's why from the beginning, I really, and of course I couldn't have invited you to be a part of the event because it was only the following weekend, like, oh my God,
Right.
I mean, I could have, but it was hard enough to pull off what I did. But I don't know if you watched the movie, but towards before I do the PTSD interview, after the event and before the new girl comes, I'm sitting there talking to people that are all these stories that I knew even then that I needed to have a part of it. But if I'd had everybody's story, like it would have been a 4-hour, I lost you. Where'd you go? That didn't happen. I love three-dimensional reality. It's so spontaneous. I mean, it really, as humans, you're really forced to work it, baby. And unfortunately, most people don't work it. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. That's getting back to why I just gravitate towards you, and so many others do as well, is the light around you, and that very energy of no matter what happens, we're going to get through it. You know what I mean?
One of
Go
my
ahead.
favorite sayings is blessed are the flexible, for they never get bent out of shape.
Exactly.
It's just rolling with the punches. I used to shoot weddings, photograph weddings, and
You're an
you
amazing
know, I would
photographer.
always tell I would always tell the brides, you've spent months and months planning. Now just go with it and don't lose sight of what's going this day represents. And so just have a good time, you know. Do you see the brides that, oh my goodness, the flower isn't the color that I want? It's
Girl,
like,
don't get me started. Don't get me started.
stop.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's funny because I think that's where we started to sort of see the entitlement
Yeah.
attitude in
Right.
that particular area. And then it's just
Right.
spread like crazy. Because I can remember, gosh, 15 years ago making fun of those, those reality shows that had the brides, because you lose your mind. You lose your mind. But
Right.
you have help. You have help because you have family that I'm not going to this and going and I'm not doing that and I'm not paying for this. And you know what I mean? It's just like, no wonder couples are divorced after a year, I mean, it's
Right.
most people don't choose partners wisely anyway, I mean,
Right.
I really feel like it's just a crapshoot. Oh, that person likes me. Okay, let's get married.
I'm giving myself.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Well, me too, girl. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I also recognized, once I got to that point, okay, I'm celibate until the one that is the one. And it's
Right.
been a
Right.
really long time, and that's okay. Right?
Right. Right.
Because all great things, take time. And just
I
that's what you're about too, is like, everything that you are and that we see, the essence was there. But just like the rock being put through the rock tumbler, we, as with myself, we get refined and we become fearless.
right. So I heard something interesting the other day that hyper independence, which I am now, hyper independence is a trauma response, and that really resonated with me. You
Yep.
know, I'm telling people I'm happy, I'm great, like and and I am. I'm so content with my life, being single and now being in my 50s. Like I feel genuinely happy, but that comment did resonate with me. You know, that is
100
a
and I'm going to write this down because I actually never heard of that, but that exact concept was in my mind oh my gosh, I lost you again. This is going to be the funniest video ever. Is she coming back? Is she coming back?
You can
We
hear me
don't
though,
know.
right?
I can't see you yet, but I can hear you. Tell me somebody doesn't want this
I
to
think I
take
have to
place.
click around.
There,
Right.
surprise, it's Angel again. You know what? No matter how many times I try to do these podcasts and stuff, there is 1,000,000% an energy that works against me, and I'm really hyper. Speaking of hyper response, I'm very hyper aware of it, and I noticed that other I consider myself a star seed, I mean, I literally came here purposely to shift the paradigm for humanity. And I've always been aware of that since I was a child. So, you know,
Right.
it makes you a target. And the reason why I bring this up is that I believe that you are an indigo just like myself. And your choices, I'm gonna cry. Your choices led you. I know. It's like, who's gonna cry? Um your choices, have again led you down the path you were meant to be down, and have cultivated this incredibly resilient, beautiful energetic being. And the hyper response, yes, I in looking at somebody that I love very dearly, who is a man, And you know how hard it is to get men to listen to stuff like this. But
Right.
I could see in him how the trauma that he pushed down as a child has put him on this path where he's a workaholic. He can never slow down. He's and it masks the ability to have intimacy, and I don't even mean sexual, I just mean emotional intimacy with your family, with the people that you care about, your closest friends. There's this wall that gets built up, and it's impenetrable, and it doesn't matter how engaging we are or open we are or magnetic we are, charismatic we are. We're still in this bubble where we're untouchable, and it's the response to being hurt so deeply and having to protect those wounds, but that doesn't have to define us.
Right. So,
and I don't, I'm not interested. I'm not the person that wants to revisit the past at all. Like that's not my thing. Even when I work on people, I'm not there to I just want validation that I've tapped into the correct energy that I'm feeling. And then, okay, no problem. Like, I'm here to remove it. Don't go into it.
Right.
I don't want you to be reinvested in it, but it is a testament, to how we get from A to B to C to D to Z. And it isn't, these things are inspiring to other people who are not equipped.
So I think the part of my journey that you're referring to is I somehow got entangled with a man who was or is a sociopath. And I didn't know what a sociopath was. I just thought they were the men who killed their wife and kids. I didn't imagine the buildup to that point. What those Now knowing what I know, I can't imagine what those women went through until their end.
Mm-hmm.
So, now I recognize them, uh, very charming, and all my goals are happen to be their goals. We must be soulmates, and the love bombing, and it's you are really made to feel special. And what's funny is, so many people that haven't been through it from afar will look and like, well, you let that happen. They really don't understand the amount of time they invest to disarm you. I mean, it took over a year for to slowly infiltrate my heart, and then my finances, and then my home, and my family. It's a very calculated, methodical campaign of terror that doesn't start out that way.
No, and you want to think you're imagining things like that, like no, I'm just imagining that, like you're constantly questioning like your own sanity of what and these things are oh my goodness, I lost you again. These things are really buried in the shadows. I'll just keep going until she pops back on. They're buried in the shadows, so you really don't see them in a way that you can explain them to other people. You can't say, oh, look at this behavior, because it's so subtle that unless a person's there living it, they can't possibly understand it. And there is this need to blame the woman, like oh, it's your fault.
Victim blaming. Anyway,
I just rounded that up.
Yeah, and what's fascinating too is I had done a paper in college on abused women. So even knowing on paper what it looked like when I was going through it, you start, because they go in, and when you love someone, you make allowances and you're blinded. You're blinded by a lot. And so, it's just one thing and then one thing. And then before you know it, you're entrapped. Excuse me. Yeah, towards the end of it, I did have family members say, to all the women in the family, Angel, I can't believe it happened to you
I know.
because you're a very strong woman and you are very independent. And wow, I got taken. I
But
got
it's
taken
but
big.
it's that very early trauma that enables that pathway, that portal, if you will, that
Right.
portal into, access. And I think if you look historically, there are a lot of very powerful women that have fallen prey to the same situations or similar scenarios. And yet, if you look at all of those women too, like, my deepest desire is the love of my life. My deepest desire my whole life has been the love of my life, and that partner, and that soul connection that is otherworldly, that you can build together, and I think that women like us have that, and it's buried deep inside, because we have to be strong. We can't want those things, because those things are going to drag us down somehow. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's this potpourri of confusing information.
I do have to say for myself is that I have found the love of my life in myself, and
Course.
not this creepy self way, but in a way that I really enjoy spending time with myself. And the love that I have to give, I give to friends and family and people that I meet. We go through certain things in life, and it's like we're able to leave a ladder in that hole for propped up for other people to crawl out. And I have a hand out waiting to help them and say, look, these things happen to me too, and I have a fulfilling life. You too can make it out of that hole.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I'm really content and really happy with my life. I'm not searching for anything. I'm
But you said it,
I
that
fill my life.
the main thing, the number one thing, is you have to love yourself. And a lot of people don't know what that is. I may
I
not always
agree.
like myself, but I freaking love myself. And it took my whole
Right.
life to get there. And I'm not giving that up for anything. So that is a huge part of it. And that's the
Right.
healing work we do with the inner child. But, um, you know,
As a child, I would hear women say that, like, you have to love yourself. And I couldn't grasp what that meant.
right. Yeah.
And I think loving yourself is getting yourself to a place where you feel authentic. You are
Absolutely.
authentically
Comfortable
living,
in your
which
skin.
I just learned the other day that is the highest vibration
Yep.
above love is
Yes.
authenticity.
Yep.
And so it's I get to
Integrity,
live in
integrity is right
it.
behind that. Yep. Those are
And
my
if
two
you have
favorites.
right, if you have authenticity, then you have clear boundaries, that can't be infiltrated. Not to say that you don't have, problems or
Right,
issues
right, right.
or things arise in life, new lessons, but for the most part, uh, I get to love myself in that I do what I want. I have fun.
I hear you. But the flip side of that too is that, and I try to help people to understand this. The more you emancipate yourself, from parasitical
Right.
attachments, I lost you again. Parasitical attachments is kind of what it is, and that's people that pull our energy and take our energy from us. Um, so the more you extricate yourself from those types of connections, and people begin to see that they don't have access to you anymore in the same way that they did, those things can really bite you. People like immediately notice when self-care has come in and boundaries are set. It's like, wait a minute, how dare you? And it's funny because they'll test you, because they'll scream at you what they're doing to you and say you're doing it to them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I,
that becomes the
yeah,
test. Like, do you fall prey in your mind? Because these are mind control mechanisms that we're dealing with in society, and almost every family or situation has them, and they don't even realize that they're operating within these mind control frequencies.
right. Yeah. So I have a great life, and um, I think the silver lining from going through surviving my sociopath is when I finally made it out. I remember and he was given a police escort out of my home because it had escalated to the point where he said he was going to kill me.
Yeah.
And a family member of mine said, you have to go to the cops, because if he makes good on his promise, at least they'll have something to go on.
Record,
And
yeah.
that was the only reason why I went to the cops, is so that, hey, if I'm dead, here's where you got to look. And come to find out that when you threaten someone's life, it's illegal. So the police officer got me an emergency restraining order, and they removed him from my house. And I clearly remember thinking, I've got a second chance now, and I'm going to live.
Yep.
I'm going to live. And
You have
I
been.
fought for my life. Yeah, I fought for my life, and I got it back. And what it's funny, because I remember I used to be so make decisions on feet based on fear. There were so many decisions in my life I had that were fear based and weren't the best for me. It was just safe. And so after surviving the worst storm in my life, I thought, oh, this didn't kill me.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen?
Yep.
And so I had been a budding photographer for a long time. Even though I was working full time, I was going to school for it and working on weekends and building my portfolio. And so I fought and said, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I want to be a full time photographer. And so I floundered for, a couple years and networked and just was trying to make it work. And it's not an easy task, because there's a million photographers out there, and there's some really great photographers. And so
You're really great, by the
I
way, as well.
thank you.
And our
Thank you.
audience, I hope you don't mind, but I harvested a few of your wonderful stills from your face. I was
Oh,
like,
good.
as you were sick, I was like, okay, let me do some backtracking. And wow, girl, you've got some great shots. And coming from a photography based family, cinema photography, I know what's good. My
Right.
opinion is a little more than average, but I think anybody can see how amazing you are. You know what I mean? And
Right.
anyway,
Right.
go ahead.
So I just kept trying. I was trying to break into hospitality with the food, and I just was going nowhere. And one day, after doing free work for this restaurant a number of times, they finally hired me. They were going to pay me $100 for, a few hours of work. And I was like, great, it's something.
Yep.
It's something I'm being paid now to build my portfolio. And while I was there, I had seen their bar manager walk back and forth setting up the bar, and we had a break between plates coming out. And I went to him and I said, hey, why don't I had just crossed over into doing video, because the DSLRs were just started doing video. So I went up to him and said, hey, why don't you let me take a video of you making me a cocktail? That was always my favorite seat in the house, is in front of the well. And he looks me up and down and like, well, you're not cute. And
I beg
and he
to
goes, well, what do you
differ.
want? He says, well, what do you want? And I said, whatever you're most proud of. And so he goes, okay. So I didn't have a tripod. I just handheld and put my elbows on the bar and just held it steady and filmed it. And once I edited that, I was like, wow, that looks like fun. I filmed it with the fisheye. It was pretty cool. No one had done that at the time yet. And so I edited it, and then I lost touch with him because he left that company and went, I don't know where, but I started stalking bartenders and hitting them up saying,
Saying, hey, 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 where's my angel today? I'm just gonna look at myself here and fix my hair. Uh, The funniest interview ever.
Okay. So I started stalking bartenders, and I would send them my edit and say, "Hey, I'd love to do this with you." And 100% of them said yes. And so I
Awesome.
started going out and getting content, and I was the very first content creator to highlight bartenders and not just the cocktail. And so the page grew wildly quick, and it was a huge response. And so many people took note, and at some point after, like, I don't know, I was doing about 3 or 4 months, I went to one of my bartender's friends and said, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm broke. I need tires. I wasn't able to monetize it yet. And he said, Angel, you have no idea how many people are talking about you in the industry. Keep doing what you're doing. And that was the shot in the arm that I needed. And so I kept going. And what the page did for me really is what my dream was, is somehow romantically feel that I am speaking to people through a lens and they don't know who I am. And which is sort of the model that my father had. He was never in any of the pictures that he did. He was, the family photographer. And I have memories of the picture, and I, in my mind's eye, can see him behind the camera still. So to me, that was romantic in a way. I'm going to speak to other people, but I'm anonymous. And I loved the idea. And this page I built was never about me. I'm not an influencer because I don't point the camera at me. I point it at an industry that I love. And it was very well received. I had bartenders come up to me and just shake my hand and say, "Thank you. Thank you. You have no idea what you're doing for us in the industry." And it's funny because before this all hit, I someone had given me mala beads, meditation beads,
Oh
and I
yeah.
would carry them in my car. And I would say the beads were a reminder to focus on what I wanted and what I wanted to manifest, which I wasn't even clear that when this started, those words weren't familiar to me. And I would be in traffic, LA traffic, driving, and I would say, I want to make videos that have a positive impact on people. I want to be able to travel by way of my camera. I want my videos and my work to be undeniably good. Not
Yeah.
those were the three things. And I want to be able to pay my bills. I
Yeah.
never said money. I never said I want to be rich. I want this car. I just wanted to be able to pay my bills.
And that's the
And I
core of
got all of it.
manifestation. That's the core of manifestation.
I
You break it
I
down
got
and you let
all
the
of it.
universe take care of the parts that you can't figure out, like don't
The,
limit yourself.
the
Don't be so specific that you're blocking the universe's, you know,
right.
oh, you don't want this, so we were gonna give you, okay, we'll give you that.
The universe truly conspired on my behalf because I couldn't have said it. I became a quote unquote influencer before I even knew the term.
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't setting out to be this person, but boy, what a gift. I've
Oh,
traveled the
honey, you
world now.
did it, girl, but you did it. You did it. And that's what I was gonna
Right.
say. Like you like how many people have you then within that touched, not only through like the backstory of the shadow aspects, but
Right.
just the all those bartenders that are just waiting to be discovered, because it's
Right.
like it's like a whole genre of flashy, there's a lot of them that are like tattoo artists, like they could have their own
Right.
reality shows, and
Right. Right.
yeah, there's so much drama behind bartenders, so let's not even go there.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, you tapped into something that was just intuitive to you. It's not like you were following anything, and that goes back to authenticity, and hearing
Right.
things within you, which brings me to your brother's amazing video. So that's the part of the story. The top of this, they're going to see that, and so they will understand the
Right.
light that is consistent because your brother, amazing being, and he touched so many people, and I cry every damn time I watch that video. It gets to this one point where you're right there, and I think that that's what grabbed everybody. And again, this is something that you have, a gift that you and yours offer to the world, whether it's your brother's version of your father's photography and how he interpreted something divine that he saw, or whether it's you reinventing yourself and using something that is so ingrained, that art that's ingrained, the viewer, the observing, and being able to translate that imagery. Yeah, that's incredible. And your children are beautiful children, and they seem to have survived all of this with you, and that's amazing too.
So I do want to go on to my brother's story, but like I would also like to say that if people want to look at my page or my social media, it's the Cocktail Portal.
I'm gonna put your card up. So yeah, we've got
Perfect.
5 minutes and 29 seconds.
Okay, let me go really quickly into my brother's story. The impact of photography from my father, both my brother in our own ways managed to go viral. I went viral on a separate platform in my own way where I was anonymous. He went viral. He was one of the very first YouTube viral videos, and it was of that double giant rainbow. He was all about documenting his life. He knew he was going to have a short life. He's always known it. And he's somehow holding on to this realm. He made videos, and that was his way because he always wanted to, he didn't want to leave the party. My brother passed in 2021 or 2020, and he didn't want to leave the party. He loved life. He loved
You could see that.
food and experiences and people, and he used to just absorb their light. And anyway, so his children were grown and had moved on. They were going off to college, and he was an empty nester, and he was single and very lonely, and he wasn't working at the time because health issues that he was having. And so he has an 8-acre property in Northern California, just outside of Yosemite, and very lonely, isolated by himself. And so when this double rainbow appeared, people ask, because his experience is so animated and so boisterous and loud, people don't understand it. And to be honest, it's our family. Our family is nuts. And that's how we act with each other.
I get that.
Yeah.
Some of the same way.
But
it's passion.
but
passion.
Right. But I lived in the city, and when I would act like that, I get looks, and then you learn to tone it down. Well, he was isolated for months in this hill and on this mountain. And so when this rainbow hit, it was an honest and true response to what he was experiencing. And he said, Angel, it was like God's eye was looking at me, and he knew it was going to change his life, but he didn't know how. Yeah. And so that video sat, for 6 months, and then Jimmy Kimmel's team got a hold of it and retweeted it on Jimmy Kimmel's page. And then another celebrity retweeted it, and then it was off. And he wasn't working, so he had the time. He said yes to every single interview. And, jealous people kept saying, well, enjoy your 15 minutes of fame. It went on for years and years. Like, his celebrity, people would recognize him. It was the greatest thing because it did keep him around a lot longer than if he didn't have that happen to his life. He traveled. He was like a celebrity, which, fed him and what he needed. It was a lot of fun to watch. He made a commercial with Jennifer Aniston.
I know. My audience is going to see all of that because I took screenshots of everything that I came across. Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
It's funny
because people would look at him in awe. And it's funny because he's just my brother. And I remember him telling me, "Oh, I'm famous." And I'm like, "Don't worry, Paul, you'll always be an asshole to me."
Right. He's hilarious. And you could see, I mean, his whole energy was bigger than life. But I mean, people don't realize is like when you're full of that much passion, it's a light and a dark, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a light and
Yeah.
a we
The
we
the thing I
we emulate, light, but there's a
right.
heavy burden behind it often.
Right. The thing I wanted people to know about his story is, they just knew the other side of that double rainbow video. His life on its head, and it gave him a reason to live because he was ready to die before that video hit. He had gotten depressed and isolated, and when that thing hit, it kept him around, and that was a silver lining for all of that. It
Yeah.
His life improved incredibly, and it was a gift. It
It was
was a
a gift.
gift from the
Yeah,
universe,
it was a
honestly.
gift. Absolutely. And very much mirroring yours in a different way. You know what I mean? And I just, again, like wanted
Thank you.
wanted so much for people to see how infectious
I
infectious
think it,
you
I
are.
think it's funny how I found you and I stayed on your property and how that all worked out.
Oh! This is hilarious.
She's the girl, the one you want. She brightens the space around her home. She has this aura.
We're gonna say goodbye. I'm not sure, it might take all day. Oh, hey, it might take all day to say goodbye.
We need to wrap this up. This is ridiculous.
I know. All right, sweetheart. Well, you are so gracious and kind to have indulged me in this insanity, which was not my intention at all. But apparently the universe thought it would be funny. And it was.
Thanks for having me.
You are
It's
awesome,
great to
honey.
spend time with you. It's great
Yeah,
to spend time with you. Thank you for
yeah,
having
yeah.
me.
Well, it was great having you here. And I wish you the best of luck. And we're going to make sure everyone knows how they can get a hold of you. If you want this vixen, this muse of a being to come and stir up some excitement in your beverage or hospitality or wedding or any other types of photography, please, definitely, she's your girl. Anyway, thank you,
Awesome.
sweetheart.
Thank
Big love.
Okay, bye.
Happy holidays.
You too.
The end. With
Click.
the button. Damn. Okay.